You are looking at the bottom of your favorite frying pan, and it is a complete disaster area. That thick, black, crusty layer of burnt-on grease and carbon has become so permanent that you feel like you are cooking with a piece of charcoal rather than high-quality cookware. You have probably tried the steel wool that leaves your hands raw and scratches the soul out of your stainless steel, or maybe you have soaked it in caustic chemicals that smell like a laboratory accident. Yet that stubborn black ring remains exactly where it was. It is frustrating. It makes your kitchen feel dirty. And let's be honest, it affects how your food cooks because that uneven layer of gunk ruins the heat distribution. But what if I told you that in Japan, home to some of the most meticulous kitchens in the world, they have a $1 trick that makes that burnt crust literally slide off without you having to scrub for a single second? This isn't just another internet hack. This is a scientific process used in Japanese professional kitchens to restore cookware to museum quality, and it works on everything from cast iron to copper and stainless steel. Today, we are going to show you exactly how to use this Japanese method to save every pan in your kitchen for less than the cost of a candy bar. To understand why this method is so revolutionary, we first have to look at what that black stuff actually is. Most Americans think it is just burnt food, but it is actually a chemical compound called polymerized grease. When oil is heated past its smoke point and stays there for a long time, it undergoes a molecular change. It turns from a liquid into a hard, plastic-like varnish that bonds to the metal at a microscopic level. Traditional dish soap is designed to break down liquid fats, which is why it fails miserably against carbonized grease. You can scrub until your muscles ache, but you are basically trying to scratch off a layer of industrial-strength plastic. The Japanese approach doesn't use brute force. They use a method called thermal chemical lifting. Instead of fighting the bond, they weaken the metal's grip on the carbon using a specific household catalyst and controlled heat. The secret weapon in this $1 trick is something you likely have in your laundry room or under your sink, but you have been using it all wrong. It is sodium bicarbonate, but not the way you think. In Japan, they don't just sprinkle it on. They create a reactive alkaline bath using a specific ratio of a common acidic fruit acid to create what is known as an effervescent lift. But before we get into the ingredients, we have to talk about the physical setup, because this is the step American home cooks always skip. You don't clean the pan in the sink. You clean the pan in a larger pot. This is the immersion technique. By submerging the entire bottom of the burnt pan into a boiling solution, you are attacking the carbon from every angle simultaneously, rather than just rubbing the surface. Let's get into the specifics of the $1 miracle. You need 3 things: water, baking soda, and a secret Japanese addition, which is a handful of dried tangerine or orange peels. Why fruit peels? Because they contain D-limonene, a natural solvent that is incredibly effective at dissolving polymerized oils. In Japan, nothing goes to waste, and these peels are considered a premium cleaning agent. When you boil these peels with baking soda, you create a powerful, natural degreaser that is completely non-toxic but chemically aggressive against burnt-on carbon. Here is the process. You find a pot large enough to fit your burnt pan inside. You fill it with enough water to cover the burnt area of your pan. You add half a cup of baking soda and your handful of citrus peels. Now here is the part that feels like magic. You bring that water to a boil and then place your burnt pan inside the boiling water. As soon as the pan hits the water, the alkaline solution starts to penetrate the tiny cracks in the carbonized grease. The heat causes the metal of the pan to expand slightly, which creates microscopic gaps between the metal and the burnt crust. The baking soda and citrus oil rush into those gaps and begin to dissolve the bond from the bottom up. You aren't scrubbing the top, you are exploding the foundation of the stain. While that is simmering, let's talk about why you should never use those harsh oven cleaners on your pans. Those products often contain lye or sodium hydroxide. While they are effective at eating through grease, they also eat through the protective seasoning of your pan and can even pit the surface of aluminum and lower-grade stainless steel. Once you use those chemicals, your pan will actually start to burn food even more easily because the surface is no longer smooth. The Japanese citrus alkaline method is gentle on the metal but devastating to the carbon. It preserves the integrity of your cookware while restoring its shine. This is why Japanese chefs can keep their pans for 30 or 40 years and they still look brand new. They understand that maintenance is about chemistry, not calories burned scrubbing. After about 15 to 20 minutes of simmering, you are going to see the water turn a dark, murky brown, or even black. This is a great sign. It means the carbon is moving from the pan into the water. In America, we are obsessed with instant results, but the Japanese value the process. By giving the pan 20 minutes in this bath, you are letting the molecules do the hard work for you. You can go fold laundry, answer emails, or prep your next meal while your cookware cleans itself. This is the ultimate kitchen productivity hack. Now let's talk about the reveal, because this is the most satisfying part. You take the pan out of the water using tongs or an oven mitt. Be careful, it is hot. You take a simple wooden spoon or a plastic scraper, nothing sharp, and you just gently push against the black crust. If you have done the process correctly, the burnt-on gunk will literally peel away in large, soft flakes. It looks like old paint peeling off a wall. There is no resistance. There is no screeching of metal on metal. It just slides off. Underneath that black mess, you will see the original silver or copper finish of your pan, looking exactly like the day you bought it. If you have a pan that has been neglected for years, you might find a second layer underneath the first. For these ancient stains, the Japanese use a secondary trick called the paste wrap. You take a little bit of the leftover boiling water and mix it with more baking soda to form a thick paste. You smear this over any remaining stubborn spots and wrap the bottom of the pan in plastic wrap while it is still warm. The plastic wrap traps the heat and moisture, forcing the enzymes from the citrus peels and the alkalinity of the soda to keep working. You leave it for another hour, and when you take that plastic off, the remaining gunk will wipe away with a paper towel. Plumbers and kitchen supply stores hate this trick. Why? Because most Americans, when they see a pan that is completely black on the bottom, simply throw it away and buy a new one. We live in a throwaway culture, but the Japanese culture of motenai, which means too good to waste, teaches that every object has a spirit and deserves to be cared for. By spending $1 on these simple ingredients, you are saving a $60 or $80 pan from the landfill. You are being economically smart and environmentally responsible. Plus, there is a deep sense of pride in seeing a set of sparkling pans hanging in your kitchen. It tells the world that you are a person who pays attention to detail and takes care of your tools. Let's address the science of heat distribution again. When you have a thick layer of carbon on the bottom of your pan, it acts as an insulator. This means your stove has to work harder to heat the pan, and the heat doesn't spread evenly. You get hot spots where your food burns and cold spots where it doesn't cook. By removing that layer using this Japanese trick, you are actually making your stove more energy efficient and your cooking more consistent. Your steaks will sear better, your sauces will simmer more evenly, and you will save money on your gas or electric bill. It is a win-win situation all around. Another component of this method that is very Japanese is the use of the discarded citrus peels. Most American cleaning tips tell you to buy a bottle of orange-scented cleaner, but those are filled with synthetic fragrances and artificial dyes. By using the actual skins of the fruit, you are getting the purest, most concentrated form of D-limonene possible. It also makes your kitchen smell incredible while you are cleaning. Instead of the choking smell of ammonia, your house will smell like a fresh citrus grove. It turns a miserable chore into a sensory experience that is actually quite pleasant. Now, some of you might be asking, what about cast iron? Cast iron is the one exception where you have to be careful. If you have a burnt bottom on the outside of your cast iron, this method is perfect. But if you have it on the inside, remember that this will also strip your seasoning. In Japan, they actually use this method to completely strip old, rancid seasoning from cast iron pots before re-seasoning them from scratch. So, if you have a thrift store find that is covered in someone else's old grease, this is the best way to get it back to bare metal so you can start fresh. It is the gold standard for restoration. I also want to talk about the American way, which is usually the self-cleaning oven trick. Some people put their burnt pans in the oven when they run the self-clean cycle. Please, for the love of your kitchen, do not do this. The extreme heat of a self-clean cycle can warp the metal of your pans and can even melt the handles if they aren't solid metal. It also creates a massive amount of smoke that can set off your alarms and linger in your house for days. The Japanese boiling method is controlled, safe, and much more targeted. It uses heat as a catalyst, not as a weapon. In 2026, we are looking for ways to simplify our lives. The sheer number of cleaning products under the average American sink is overwhelming. You have a spray for this, a powder for that, and a gel for something else. The Japanese philosophy is about reducing, If you have baking soda and you eat fruit, you have everything you need to keep your kitchen spotless. This $1 trick is a gateway into a more mindful way of living. It encourages you to look at your trash differently. Those orange peels aren't garbage. They are a powerful tool. That burnt pan isn't ruined. It's just waiting for a bath. Let's talk about the scrubbing trap. When we scrub a pan, we feel like we are doing a good job because we are sweating and working hard. But in reality, we are often causing damage. If you have a copper-bottomed pan, scrubbing with an abrasive can remove that thin layer of copper over time. If you have a tri-ply stainless pan, you are wearing down the finish. The Japanese no scrubbing rule is about preservation. It recognizes that the less we physically interfere with the surface of the metal, the longer it will last. Let the liquid do the work. Let the heat do the work. Your job is just to wait and witness the transformation. For those of you with those multicolored rainbow stains on your stainless steel, you know, that weird oil slick look. This method fixes that too. Those stains are caused by overheating the minerals in the water or the proteins in the food. The alkaline citrus bath breaks those mineral bonds instantly. You will pull your pan out of the pot, and it will be as shiny as a mirror. It is honestly one of the most satisfying things you can do in your kitchen. It is like a spa day for your cookware. I want you to think about the last time you hosted a dinner party. Maybe you felt a little embarrassed when someone saw the bottom of your pans hanging on the rack or sitting on the stove. We try to hide our burnt cookware, but we shouldn't have to. With this method, you will actually want to show your pans off. They become a point of conversation. People will ask you how you keep your pans so clean, and you can tell them about this secret Japanese tradition. It makes you look like a pro, someone who knows the hidden secrets of the culinary world. Another great thing about this trick is how it works on baking sheets too. We all have those cookie sheets that are covered in brown, sticky spots that never come off. If you have a shallow roasting pan that is large enough, you can use the same boiling method for your baking sheets. If you don't have a pan large enough to submerge a baking sheet, you can actually plug your sink, fill it with boiling water from your kettle, add the baking soda and citrus peels, and lay the sheet inside. Because sinks are often made of stainless steel or porcelain, they will hold the heat long enough for the reaction to take place. You will see those brown oil spots lift right off the aluminum. Let's do a quick recap of the chemistry for those who want to be sure. The baking soda provides the alkalinity to break down the acidic components of the fat. The citrus peels provide the solvent to dissolve the carbon bonds. The boiling water provides the kinetic energy and thermal expansion to allow the cleaners to get under the stain. It is a three-pronged attack that is perfectly balanced. And because it all comes from nature and your pantry, it is safe to pour down the drain when you are finished. In fact, the hot cleaning solution will actually help clean your pipes on the way down. It dissolves the grease buildup in your kitchen sink trap, preventing future clogs. It is a double win for your home maintenance. American plumbers and appliance repairmen often see the damage caused by hack cleaners like vinegar and soda mixtures. While vinegar and soda are great for some things, they actually neutralize each other when mixed together, leaving you with just salty water. The Japanese trick is smarter. It uses the alkalinity of the soda in a heated environment without neutralizing it. This keeps the pH level high, which is exactly what you need to destroy polymerized grease. By following this method, you are using real science to achieve professional results. So, here is your challenge for this weekend. Go to your cupboard and pull out the ugliest pan you own. You know the one you keep at the back because the bottom is heartbreakingly black. Buy one lemon or orange, or just save the peels from your lunch. Grab that box of baking soda that's been sitting in your fridge for 6 months. Spend 20 minutes letting it simmer. Watch that black crust melt away. You will feel a surge of satisfaction that is better than buying anything new. You will have saved a piece of your kitchen and learned a skill that will serve you for the rest of your life. The Japanese have a word, shokunin, which refers to a master craftsman who has a deep functional and spiritual connection to their tools. By adopting this $1 trick, you are becoming a shokunin of your own kitchen. You are moving away from the use and discard mentality of the modern West and moving toward a more sustainable, respectful, and ultimately more successful way of cooking and living. Your pans are your partners in the kitchen. Treat them with the respect this Japanese method provides, and they will reward you with better food and a lifetime of service. There is no reason to live with burnt pan bottoms anymore. No more scrubbing until your fingers are sore. No more inhaling toxic fumes. Just $1, a few fruit peels, and a little bit of Japanese wisdom. That is all it takes to transform your kitchen. You have the knowledge now, and knowledge is the most powerful cleaning tool in the world. Get that pot of water boiling and start your own kitchen restoration today. You will be amazed at what you can achieve with just a little science and a lot of heart. Your pans will thank you, your wallet will thank you, and your cooking will never be the same again. Welcome to the clean, efficient, and beautiful kitchen you deserve. This is the Japanese way, and now it is the way of your American home. Happy cleaning, and even happier cooking.